Dogs and wolves are very similar creatures, and for some reason, they hate one another with a burning passion. Whenever they meet, they get into some of the most vicious fights that you'll ever see, and who ends up winning is always a toss-up, which is exactly what we're about to see today. Who knew that 3 not-so-big Mastiffs could make a pack of huge wolves rethink their life choices? This gang of oversized wolves ran into these Mastiffs, and both sides knew they had to make the first move. The wolves tried to intimidate the Mastiffs, acting all tough and hostile, but both crews were playing it smart, moving strategically and carefully, not wanting any nasty surprises or devastating sneak attacks. Every time the wolves attempted to pounce, they did it cautiously to avoid getting too close, since the Mastiffs would bite right back. The wolves would then quickly back off and regroup. This back and forth went on for a while, and the wolves started realizing that they had bitten off more than they could chew. Accepting that maybe tonight wasn't their night for a feast, they decided it was best to find another path, preferably one not guarded by aggressive Mastiffs with a chip on their shoulder. On one particular restless night, a wolf spotted a dog wandering alone under the moonlight near a farmer's house. Without wasting a second, it charged at full speed and attacked. The dog's heart pounded like a drum as it tried to escape, but the wolf sank its teeth into its neck. They crashed into the farmer's front door, busting it open, and an intense battle took place between them. The wolf was stronger, dragging the dog a bit away from the house, biting non-stop at its throat. Just as it was about to finish the job, pinning the dog to the ground, the farmer came running out of the house. Risking his own neck, he grabbed whatever he could find and scared the wolf off, saving the dog. Guess the wolf learned that not every midnight snack comes easy, and sometimes the delivery bites back. Caught on 2 separate security cameras, this clip shows a wolf strolling into a sleepy, snow-covered neighborhood in the dead of night. Out of nowhere, a relatively small dog spotted it and thought, "Hey, I could take that," so it sprinted towards the wolf to attack it. Little did it know, it was way out of its league. A vicious fight broke out and the wolf was clearly wiping the floor with the poor pup. Despite rocking a spiked collar, the dog was too weak to stand a chance. The wolf didn't waste the opportunity and beat it up pretty badly. In the end, it dragged the dog away using its collar, and it looked like the wolf was about to turn it into a late-night snack. Two wolves decided to gang up on a tiny dog in the middle of the night here. Locking it tightly in their jaws, they tried to drag it away to kill it and devour it. The only problem? The little dog was tied to its small house with a leash, which slowed the wolves down. Barking at the top of its lungs, the pup eventually woke up a nearby Mastiff. As soon as the Mastiff started barking, the wolves raced out of there like the cops were busting the place. That was all it took. A Mastiff barking at them, not even attacking. And get this, the Mastiff was leashed too, so it couldn't have reached the wolves even. But they didn't stick around to investigate. They just ran for their lives as soon as the Mastiff made a sound. The tiny dog must have been so grateful to its huge buddy. So, barbed wire fences can't stop wolves anymore, I guess. A highly organized pack of wolves worked together to climb over a barbed wire fence and invade a nearby farm. They had their sights set on the small Mastiff guarding the place, but even though the Mastiff was smaller, it put up one hell of a fight at first, refusing to back down or run away. It stood its ground like a true warrior, but the wolves were too many and too aggressive. Despite its bravery, the Mastiff eventually got overwhelmed. The wolves sank their teeth into its face and neck, dragging it away into the night. Poor dog fought till the end, but numbers won over courage this time. Maybe next time the farmer will invest in some higher fences or give the Mastiff some backup. After all, teamwork makes the dream work, even for wolves. Check out this badass wolf. It came charging at not one, but 2 Tibetan Mastiffs and was able to intimidate both of them. I guess the wolf was feeling extra confident, but it worked. The 2 dogs were taken aback by the sudden attack and had no idea what to do. Even though the wolves were the ones to launch the attack here, they quickly realized that they weren't going to win. There were 3 Mastiffs that were ready for them, and despite the wolves being huge and very aggressive, the badass Mastiffs were able to chase them away in the end. This wolf was getting absolutely destroyed. I bet it'll never mess with another dog ever again. The dog was too energetic and too aggressive for the predator, and the fight was absolutely humiliating. After this huge wolf came way too close to a dog that was on a leash in the middle of the night, they sniffed one another and the dog immediately knew what the wolf's intentions were, and it started acting aggressively. The wolf responded quickly, grabbing the poor dog in its deadly jaws and pulling it as hard as it could, but it couldn't drag the dog away or break its leash. The wolf was bigger and clearly in control, and the dog was certainly going to end up as its dinner. Two Mastiffs were chasing a wolf here, but each time they knocked it down to the ground, the wolf would get back up and started running again. The dogs had had enough, and they decided to hold it down and mark it with some lasting scars. Making fatal mistakes is easy when you try to mess with predators way more dangerous than you can handle, which is what this dog was dumb enough to do. It spotted a wolf in the distance and decided to go chase after it and act all brave and tough. Little did it know, the wolf was trying to lead it away in order to kill it. The wolf suddenly stopped, and the brave dog wasn't so brave anymore. They stared at each other for a moment, and the dog realized what was going on, and it ran as fast as its heart was beating. The wolf was now chasing after it, of course, as it was done acting weak and was ready to start showing some teeth, both literally and figuratively. When a wolf thinks it's James Bond but ends up as Wile E. Coyote, you know things didn't go as planned. This surveillance camera at a sheep farm caught a wolf stealthily climbing over the fence late at night. It used total silence and sneaky moves to avoid making any noise. Once inside, it started chasing sheep, hoping to snag a midnight snack. The sheep freaked out, of course, which caught the attention of a Kangal dog on guard duty. The wolf was caught off guard when a Kangal came charging at it like a furious bouncer. Realizing it was outmatched, the wolf tried some fancy footwork and managed to jump back over the fence, but this time in full retreat. It slinked away, tail between its legs, not just empty-handed, but also kicking itself for not even considering a full face-off with the Kangal. Guess being sneaky doesn't always pay off. A pack of wolves were prowling around like they were searching for lost car keys here. Out of nowhere, a Mastiff dog jumped out from behind some rocks and started barking at them, scaring the daylights out of the unsuspecting predators. They backed up a few steps, clearly not expecting to get ambushed on their midnight stroll. After regrouping, they decided to gang up and attack. It seems courage is a team sport for wolves. None of them would have dared to face the Mastiff alone. The racket woke up the homeowner, who sprinted out of his house like he just remembered he left the oven on. Seeing him charge, the wolves hightailed it out of there. Meanwhile, the Mastiff stood its ground the whole time, fending them off despite being vastly outnumbered. Who needs an alarm clock when you've got a pack of wolves sneaking around your backyard? There was a Mastiff snoozing away here, totally blissed out, when it woke up to the sound of footsteps nearby. Surprise, surprise, it was a trio of wolves plotting to jump it. Even though the dog was flying solo and the wolves had the numbers, the Mastiff didn't hesitate for a second. It charged straight at them, attacking with all the confidence in the world. That bold move was all it took to send the wolves packing. Goes to show that sometimes courage trumps numbers. These weren't just any wolves either. They had a reputation for being really nasty and downright ruthless around that area. But I guess even the big bad wolves can have bad days if they mess with the wrong pup. Answering the frantic barks of his dog, a man opened his door to scenes straight out of a nightmare here. His small dog had sensed a wolf lurking nearby and was seeking help from its owner. Flashlight in hand, the man aimed it towards the wolf, only to see that it had already clamped its sharp teeth around the little guy's neck. The man tried to scare the wolf off, waving the flashlight at it, but the wolf wasn't intimidated. It kept a firm grip on the dog and dragged it away. The man just stood there, completely shocked and helpless, unable to rescue his pet from the jaws of the predator. The wolf looked really hostile, probably driven by severe hunger. The man was clearly terrified and not equipped to deal with this, especially not in the darkness of night. You won't believe this one. A wolf snuck into a sheep pen and turned the place into its own personal horror show. It was chasing the sheep around like it was a game, and the poor sheep were losing their minds, totally helpless. The wolf strangled one of the lambs right in front of them, and they couldn't do a thing about it. But wait, it gets worse. There was a dog in there too, just hiding in the corner. Instead of doing its job, it just sat there, too scared and too much of a coward to even try helping. It just waited for the nightmare to pass, probably hoping the wolf didn't notice it. Moral of the story? Not all guard dogs are cut out for the job.
Did you enjoy this video? Please let us know in the comments section down below. And don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. And please, turn on your notifications bell to get notified when we upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.